Hey guys, here's Louis. So, after I was done with the power steering video, I just kept plugging along and I put more things on more parts on the engine here on the Pontiac 350 for the Lovebird. Okay, and I'm still missing a couple of things, but trust me, she's really close to getting started. All right. I even put the bracket here for your accelerator cable. Okay. I put my Edelbrock carburetor. Everybody that knows Louis, that's what I love to use, the 4 barrels Edelbrock. This one happens to be a manual choke, but I am gonna clean it up. I'm gonna go through it. I know it's a good carburetor because I had it on my white 68 Firebird, but I just finished converting that to an old style Carter that I found on eBay. I rebuilt it. It's an electrical choke, which, believe it or not, is my first electrical choke carburetor on a Firebird. First gen. My 67 has a pull cable manual, and it also, my 69 has a pull cable manual. And I know my wife do not want to pull no cable because she already told me. So she said, if you're gonna put the old drivetrain, which, you know, these old Pontiac's carburetor engine, because she really wanted LS, but I kind of convinced her, listen, I have everything in the house already, I don't need to spend more money. And just like women, you know, they like to, when you can save money, they save money, I guess. But yeah, she told me, all right, go ahead. But when I explained to her about the carburetors, she said, I don't want to be pulling no cable. Put the electrical choke and call it a day. And I said, all right, honey, no problem. So I'm just using this carburetor to test out this engine and having the Lovebird moving under her own power. So I did that. What else? I added an old alternator. This alternator is just for mock-up, okay? It's just for mock-up, and the belts did fit, all right? And for you guys out there that are interested, let me know. Like I said, well, every time I tell you guys, put something in the comments, I'll continue from there to make a video or not to make a video on it. If I get a lot of attention, I will make a video. And the point is, guys, it takes a long time to make videos. I love to share the knowledge, and I believe that I truly am a big believer that God gave me this talent, this gift, right? That I have to know how to appreciate it, and the way I show appreciation through him is that I like to help others. So yes, I know my videos are good information in there. I know it's helping people, it's motivating people, guys and girls, you know, men and women. But let's get something straight. It takes a long time that I don't have. You guys out there that also are YouTubers like myself, you know what I'm talking about. It really does take a long time. That's why the audience should show appreciation on everybody's channel, if especially if you're picking up skills and you're learning things that you love, just like us, like with this hobby of classic cars. Because trust me, we do pour out a lot of hard work on these videos. But anyway, so the belts, it did work. And what I was getting to is this alternator belongs to an original 1969 Firebird. It was the second to last car I got in my collection. And it was an original 350 car, an original 4-speed car. Unbelievable that they ordered that car with a 4-speed. My first 4-speed, believe it or not, I have the matching numbers on 350 to the car. I wasn't interested in the 4-speed, so I let the guy keep it. I'm not interested in no manual 4-speed. That's just me. That's just my opinion. That's just what I like. I like the turbo 400s and stuff like that. But Anyway, yeah, this alternator came out from that car. Is the original alternator, so I don't want to get rid of it. But the alternators that I use are from a 1975. So if you're gonna go to an auto parts store, you will ask for a 1975 Firebird, and you could tell them that it's the 400 engine, and they all use that alternator. And also, I think the max is like 63 amps. So as long as you keep the car stock and you don't put anything that pulls a whole bunch of electricity, all this kind of crazy amperage, you should be safe. And I could speak from experience because my birds are like that for years now. And what I did is I converted it from an external regulator to an internal regulator, and I went through the harness to make that. And if you guys are interested, the point that I'm getting to is, let me know and I'll make a video on it. But I am going to turn the harness to this car and to work with an internal regulated alternator. Now, if you guys are doing this setup, the power steering and that alternator, these are the belts that I use, and check it out. As you guys can see there, it did work. That's the setup, okay? Power steering, alternator, fan belt, water pump pulley, and your crank pulley down there, okay? So that alternator one, okay, is 15500, which is right here. This one is the 15500, and here it goes. That's the part number, okay? 15500, and that's from AutoZone, okay? V-belt, Duralast, and the water and the power steering pump. To work with the power steering pump, remember, it's not the AC pulley, okay? It's 15510, and there you go, okay? It worked. Everything lined up nicely, okay? Everything there is nice and lined up, and it's gonna work. I have the same setup on my Y68 Firebird that you guys saw me restored also, okay? So I have everything here plugged in. I'm not gonna put the heater core right now, but I will in the future. I will definitely put the heater core in the future, okay? It will definitely go in there in the future. As of now, I'm gonna be bypassing it, and it's gonna go from that setup right there that you see. All right. So now, because I am really close from getting this engine started up, we're gonna be moving to right here, some exhaust. And this is the exhaust that I picked out for the Lovebird. By the way, I have this same setup in my 69 Firebird. I also have it in my 68 white car. The only difference on the 69 is that I took off the mufflers after a while. They sound good, don't get me wrong. I call them the Flow Master knockoffs. And this setup, I got it from Jegs. I'll share that in a minute. And I just took it off, and I found a good deal on some other mufflers, and I like the sounds to them, and I bought them. So you guys could do the same thing. I mean, as you could afford it, you buy it, and later on, if you want to change just the mufflers, you could buy something like Flow Master. That's what you like. Maybe somebody's selling it real cheap in Facebook Marketplace. You pick them up and you just swap out the mufflers and keep the plumbing. So I always like to mock it up here on the garage floor. Okay, and that's gonna be pouring out exhaust by the rear quarter panel section. Okay, so there you go. And I was also on the phone with Jonathan from Vinyl Village Garage, my Firebird brother that I love so much. And he told me, buddy, anything you do, make sure you fit that brace that goes under the floor, under the other brace that is there. And I'll show you guys. He told me, make sure you have clearance. And he's warning me because, remember, this is the first convertible first gen that Louis do. Okay, and so far he's giving me an A plus because he told me. I have a lot of things going on inside the car. I have the original fan shroud, which I'm having a problem because I need a bigger radiator. I do not want to cut that fan shroud. I have the console still to mount down to the floor. I'm gonna get there, but I made a video of how to install your shifter and mounting holes for the console. And of course, the steering wheel and the steering column is off because all that still needs to be all hooked up, but it's getting there. Now, let's go to the table if I can show you guys what to expect. So I picked this up from Jegs, okay? That's the part number, and there it goes. That's the description they give you, okay? And this works for F bodies and X bodies, GM cars, all right? And it is a 2.5-inch exhaust. This is the price as of now, okay? As of November of the year 2024, this is the price. When I bought this somewhere in the summer, believe it or not, and I paid less than this. I paid like $150 because they had a sale going on. And with Jegs, anything over $100, your shipping is free. So I picked it up for that. If you pick it up for that price, I picked it a little less because I caught a sale. But listen, even for this price, is an excellent setup. And they give you the gasket that goes between your headers, okay, collectors, and right here, and your headers and collectors will be here. So they give you the gasket, all this hardware. I mean, guys, to be honest with you, I love it. Okay, I'm a big fan of this exhaust. Now, the only thing different with this setup that I might do, because I happen to have about 2 pairs now, the original hangers towards the back. So the original hangers for Firebird, and I believe Camaro use the same ones. It was hooked up this section of the muffler going up to the floor, to the rear of the floor. And I happen to have 2 pairs of good original exhaust hangers. Okay, and they nice and strong. I'm just gonna clean them up, paint them up black, and I might use that. But I will be sending you guys photos how this setup will go under the car and look under the car, and I'll show you too. So let me get under the car and see how this exhaust is gonna be fitting here on the Lovebird. All right, guys, so I am here under the car, and so far I installed. So my headers are here, okay. I installed the pipe. I have to put this flange in and fish it through the pipe. It'll go through. Okay, first you want to put your gasket. They give you a gasket. First your gasket, then this right here, which is your flange that you're gonna be bolting on to the header, and you are going to be putting them as one, tying the bolt down. It has a washer, the 916 nuts there. Okay, I strongly suggest that you mock everything up first, okay, and then your second time around, bolt this nice and tight and position this pipe. Okay, this pipe right here, you're going to position it, pivot it up, down, how you want to. And it's a simple thing to follow, that if you buy this kit from Jegs, the driver's side, this pipe right here, it's longer than the passenger side. Okay, so remember, driver's side is longer. Same deal. Put your paper gasket first, your flange, and tighten those bolts to the header once you position your pipe right here, up or down. I did try out the convertible brace, and with this kit is not going to fit. Okay, so either I use this setup that I have here for another car, or I keep it for this car, and I'm gonna have to cut and bend pipes and weld if I could tuck everything in, because in a convertible, your pipe actually goes right in here, right in your drive shaft tunnel. Okay, so you will have your pipes, one here, one on the other side, and your drive shaft right in the middle but it could go to your rear end. Okay. And another thing, sorry for my hands in the way, but my extra hands are jack stands. Okay. I have about maybe, I don't know, 6 pairs or something like that. You are going to need a couple of jack stands to hold the pipe for you. But like I said, I'm gonna keep on plumbing because I mean, I'm on a deadline here and I want to get this exhaust done. And like I said, maybe just in the future, I'm gonna have to come down here and position these pipes the right way so she could be tucked in here. If I could be able to use this brace, all right, or buy a pipe just in the beginning here that I could cut and bend and weld going straight down to tuck everything in. But let me keep on going. I'll show you guys more. All right, guys. So what I like to do is I'll get some masking tape, and once I have this pipe pushed all the way that she can't get pushed in anymore, I'll mark it with tape. It's like that I know how much pipe I still have once I start moving this pipe towards the back of the car to give me some play and some adjustment room. So right there, I know I have enough pipe for when I am ready to put a clamp and there is no opening. Because if you're too far back, you'll start seeing an opening right here. So on the top and the bottom is closed. Okay, I know I have enough material, all right, to stop. So I have about the same thing you see at the front. I'll have right here. So I have enough clamping material for when I clamp. The clamp will be forced on this pipe, and she will have this one in the inside, and enough to give me my clamping force and having something to clamp on. All right, and also no exhaust leaks. And let me tell you something. So far, for what I could see, I like the way it looks. I like the way it looks all the way going down there. And she's pretty tucked in. Like I'm backing away from the car, and check that out. She's really tucked in there. All right. And as you guys can see, there goes the muffler in the back. Now we are going to go around the axle and see how that looks. That is next. All right, now guys, I have the pipe that goes into the rear of the muffler over the axle on top and comes down towards the quarter panel. Okay, from the back of the quarter panel where she's going to be dumping exhaust. Now I'm going to go and take a look how she looks at the back. And believe it or not, I like it like that. She looks pretty good. Like I said, the muffler right here, she's pretty tucked in. I mean, really close to my coops. This one being a convertible, she hangs a little lower because of the brace that the convertible has. But she's looking good. Okay, I'll bring you guys back from when I finish mocking up the driver's side, and I'll show you guys everything. Remember that with this kit, you want to mock everything up before you put any kind of clamps on your exhaust system. So that's what it takes. Little by little, we'll be getting there. All right, guys. So I have plumbed the whole exhaust system. All right. And I like how my exhaust tips is showing. Okay. And right now I have about 2.5 inches dropping down. Also on this side, 2.5 inches dropping down. I like the way it looks. Looking really nice. Okay. There you go. You can see from the bottom of the car straight to the back. All right. Like that view. Now we're going to see how to mount it to the trunk floor. Okay, another bottom view right there. As you guys can see there, everything is looking awesome. I'm really happy how everything is looking out. Okay, and those are the pipes right here. Okay, and like I said, these two right there, they don't clear the brace, but it's all right. It's not that bad. Okay, it's not that bad, not that serious. I will see if I could do anything in the future to the exhaust pipes, which I pretty much can because I was messing around with it off camera, and I think I know where I need to add pipes to make that curve going into the transmission tunnel, and I'll do it in the future, like I said. But for now, this will work out awesome to get the lovebird driving under her own power, so I could drive her inside the bird cage and bring the next car down so I could get the metal work done. Now let me present the clamps so I can show you guys the last and final part of installing this JEGS exhaust system on a first gen F body.
All right, guys, so I am installing the hangers for the rear of the exhaust, and this is the tip I'm going to give you guys. When you bolt this, so you see the other hole is over here, right? I'm using one bolt, all right, and it's strong enough. I'm letting it loose. I'm leaving it really loose, okay? Because I want to see my fitment to the pipe, to the exhaust pipe. Once I have the clamp over the pipe and I'm happy what position my exhaust is, that's when I'm going to start bolting everything nice and tight, cranking on the bolts, okay, and snugging them up. I already did this side, and so far I like the way everything looks over here. Okay, and I'll bring you guys right back when I have everything together. So you could put a little grease. You see, that's a little grease there. I put a little grease inside this sleeve here, the rubber sleeve, because it's really hard to slide this thing through. And then I kept everything loose, and I'll bring you guys back when everything's bolted together.
All right, guys. Well, there goes the fully installation of the dual exhaust from JEGS. Okay, and she's from the headers all the way going back. Okay, the only thing I did different on this installation from my Coupe's car, this one being a convertible, I needed this pipe to be a little longer, so I had to buy an exhaust coupler. Okay, and it's on 2.5 inches ID on both ends. Okay, and for it to fit on the muffler side, I had to enlarge the hole really slightly and just got a rubber mallet and hit the coupler the rest of its way in, so everything is nice and snug there. It's not loose. And let me show you how the exhaust looks exactly here on the back. So that's the way she is, and this one measures exactly to the other ones. The two mufflers here measure exactly across from each other, like one is not forward than the other. They both are exactly on the same length of size going front and back. The only thing I did not use is this thing they give you here. Okay, so they give you this clamp, and this is supposed to be bolted to the other side of the frame rail right here. It's supposed to like drill a hole. It's supposed to go on the inside, not the outside. Drill a hole, and even with those screws that they supply, it's still too short. Okay, what I'm going to do is, you have these two original holes to your frame rails here. See if I can get some light. Yeah, those two holes right there is for the original exhaust clamps, and I want to go back to the original in that style, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll put the original style clamps and hook it up here. All right, but that's the way she gets hooked up. Everything is there. There goes the clamps for underneath the trunk floor. Okay, and the bolt that I use, remember this is a brand new floor pan, but it will also work with the new floor pan, I mean with the original floor pans. And the bolt that I use is those little fender bolts. Right here now. Let me see. No, these are not it, but I have them somewhere around the garage. I'll show you in front of the car the bolts that I'm talking about. I don't happen to have one in my hands, but on these first gen F bodies, this one being a Firebird, the bolts that go into your fender here to the core support is the bolts that I use to hold the clamp of the exhaust, okay, to the floor, the trunk floor. And guys, let me tell you something. She looks excellent. I wouldn't want the exhaust to hang no further down than that. I like that. I like that look. I think she looks really good there. Okay, get you a view on the back side of it. Boom. Okay, that's it right there. I don't need it to hang down, like I said, no more than that. So that's your dual exhaust from Jags. All right, I paid 180 something bucks. I showed you guys the price in the beginning of the video, and I think I added maybe another 50 bucks, something like that. I caught the sale for the two mufflers. Sometimes when you go on their page in the bottom, they will show you the muffler you put into a package kind of deal. And these are the tools I use. So I use a rubber mallet, okay, a 13 millimeter box wrench with a ratchet ending, and a pipe expansion tool, which I picked up at Harbor's Freight. What I like to do is I like to mark it. So I mark that with a silver marker, because as she spins, I know she gave me one full revolution, and I count 1, 2, 3, just to know not to exceed the inspection, and then it's either too big or it splits on you. So I just use that as a guide point. And let me tell you something, I bought this in Harbor's Freight and it worked excellent. So I have a rule of thumb here in the garage. If I have to go and rent tools 3 times, that's it. The 4th time, I go buy them. That means I need them here. So that's why I picked this one up. And a 19 millimeter deep socket is what's going to fit in here. Okay. Going to give you the ability to put it in that tool. And I also use here the Earthquake from Harbor's Freight. All right. And let me tell you something, that this air gun here, I had it for a long time, and she never failed me. I service it myself, and that's the tools that I use, the ones you see right there. So guys, the Lovebird now has dual exhaust, and I love the way it came out. I told you I have this is my 3rd or 4th car that I have with the same kind of exhaust system, and I'm getting really close to firing up this engine, making the Lovebird moving under her own power. I'm getting extremely close here. All right, my next step on the car will be right here, installing the HEI distributor, spark plugs right here, and spark plug wires. I also received these gaskets from the mail because I want to go through the Edelbrock carburetor. It's just been sitting around. I just want to clean it up and make it function nice and clean. Why not? Well, guys, here's Louie, and like I always say, so this has been a journey, and so far she's moving right along. Like I always say, keep your hands dirty and your project will move forward. Bye-bye now.